Hi, everybody. This is part two. We're around 30 for Breeders' Cup Day, talking about the day in the life of a horse player. He is on Breeders' Cup Day. Like I said, I get up around 3 o'clock and basically bathrobe still. So it's bathrobe time. Uh, one of the good things about being an old dude is that take a nice long shower, 45 minutes, one of your main pleasures in the day, just like having your cup of coffee. Um, it's just so pleasurable to feel refreshed, feel good, and feel cool and calm. Because of the fact that I'm making a big decision today. Today I'm either gonna one way or the other. I'm not gonna play any more races after today. So this is the I'm retiring after 43 years of playing. No doubt about it. I'm not playing no more. I don't want to play another race. I've played about 8,000 races already, and there's really no reason for me to play another race. So, Breeders' Cup 2024 might be my last time ever playing, or I might not even play today. So I haven't played for about a week, like I said in my last video, and I don't, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to see what my mofo is, and I go under the label of Mofo Joe Handicapping, and basically that's the part of the Mofo. How do you feel? What do you think you want to do? And it's a big decision, but I've been coming here for the last 6 years. Really, mainly because of the fact that I understand that the horse racing information is useless. And once you realize that horse racing information is useless because you only win 20% of the time, and horseplayers' Achilles heel is that they play too much, way, way, way too much. And today is an example of how a horse player is in their most insane situation. Playing on Breeders' Cup is, like playing for 30 days straight, 12 hours a day. It's exhausting. It's intimidating. It's difficult. It's nothing like you do in your normal play. It's a completely different animal, has to be dealt with completely different. And the only way you know all of that is through, again, I've been doing this for 4 decades, for 43 years. And that's how you know through experience. Just like I was talking about in my video earlier, um, about the fact that more experienced, Jerry Bailey did an interview with the J.R. Velasquez, Tatori, and Mike Smith. And that was one of the best videos I've ever seen, and I recommend it to anybody who's playing the horses to go ahead and look at that because it tells you a lot. You're talking about handicapping. That's the real deal of handicapping when you play the game for 40 years. Is the hidden gold many, many layers beyond the obvious? That has to be your focus. The hidden gold many, many layers beyond the obvious. I mean, that was proven in the Derby when Rich Strike won, and he paid. That was hidden gold that most horse players never look at because most horse players are looking for the ego approach, which is predictability. The ego approach, which is certainty. Those things don't exist in the horse play, for horse players, and yet we think they do. There's no such thing as predictability. There's no such thing as certainty. There's no such thing that Sierra Leone's going to win those 3 races that he lost, or fierceness not running at all. Just like in today's race. I mean, how many stories can you tell about the Breeders' Cup to 2024? About 150, 200,000 stories of who's going to do what in one race. In one race. That's the insanity. That's where we're going. That's the neighborhood we're going. It's like a white boy going to, a neighborhood that's not a white boy neighborhood, right? And it's completely different. That's the Breeders' Cup. It's not like the regular racing. It's not looked at. That's why that guy passed the wire, Jonathan. His recommendations are phenomenal. He's another guy you should listen to in the videos. He's correct. Playing, one race, 2 races, 3 races, and that's my approach. It's called the Ego Buster approach. It's getting a black belt in the art of restricting yourself for what you love to do. That's where the hidden gold is. The hidden gold is you got to look at the game like as if you're playing poker. Not every race is pocket aces. Not every race is pocket kings. A lot of races are deuces. A lot of races are pocket eights. A lot of races are, pocket jacks, but they still don't win. It's so important to understand that you have to approach this game by being wild. That's how you stop playing all these unplayable races. How can you play a race that has a six-horse field and think it's a race? I don't think a race is a race unless it's at least 10 horses. That's why Breeders' Cup is so phenomenal, and that's why Breeders' Cup. I don't have I like playing it because I understand that you have to approach the Breeders' Cup completely different than you do the regular races because it's a completely different beast, and you have to be completely, you know, like a ninja. You have to have a black belt in so many areas when you're playing the game. And if you don't, you're going to go down. It's just that simple. You're going to get hit by Mike Tyson, and he's Mike Tyson. He's going to knock your ass out. One mistake, Mike Tyson knocked out. One shot, gone. Playing pick sixes, string bets. You're out one of those legs, boom, you're out. There goes, 25% of your bankroll. No, that guy's recommendation at Pass the Wire is excellent. He says no boxing is for Christmas. Hedging is for landscapers. I agree with him. And my mantra in that area is risk it all, take a leap, risk it all. And if I was going to play today, basically I would just play one race, and it probably would be the Breeders' Cup because the Breeders' Cup this year is unbelievable. Again, you can tell yourself hundreds of stories and have an imagination of what's going to happen and then represent it with your investment when you play that race. But don't play any other race. My recommendation is if you're playing with 1,000 or 5,000, you just like if you're playing 5,000, you're just playing that race. Play just that race all day long. Don't do anything. Distractions. Again, like I showed in my last video, you dance. You dance, baby. You dance. You go play basketball. You go do yoga. You go to the gym. You go take your girlfriend out to lunch because you're not playing until the evening. Most horse players can't even have a girlfriend because their girlfriend is the horses. Most horse players can't have relationships because their relationship is that they're in a bubble with horse playing. But you're not going to be in balance when you do that. You have to mix it up. And I've learned that over the 43 years because if you don't do that, then you're going to be alone. You're going to be alone. And that's a tragedy. So again, on Breeders' Cup Day, what I understand completely is that you can't go into the game with a fat guy appetite. You can't. You can't go into the game with a fat guy appetite because if you go into the game with a fat guy appetite, Mike Tyson's going to hit you in the gut and you're going to be down and you're going to be out. I didn't play any races on Friday. I didn't even want to play any races. So I had a plan. Question to you, to horse players is: do you even have a plan, or are you just going to play race after race after race after race with whatever bankroll you have until your bankroll is gone? Do you have a plan? Are you focused on playing, certain races and only those races? Are you ninja enough to know that, the only way you can win at this game is by being a black belt in many areas and the art of restriction, patience, learning to do other things. Like that's why I got this hobby of videotaping. I've been videotaping for 30 years in one way or another. Almost like a best friend, just to come back and look at it at another time, because that's what handicappers do. I don't just handicap horses. I handicap my life. I handicap people. I handicap situations. Because that's what I do. And I don't have a problem with the fact that I did this for 43 years. I think whatever you do, as long as you do it to the, with like my song says, what is it? Let me get that song. Yeah, Ronnie Coleman, right? Let's put that out because that's the inspiration song. Is Ronnie Coleman. Him and just having an attitude. We'll get that mojo. I call this mojo getting your mojo. Yeah. So again, being in control of yourself. Um, the handicapping should be all done by the time you start engaging in the betting aspect. Um, you know, this year it's wonderful that I'm not using horse racing information at all to make decisions. I already know, just from watching videos and from other people, basically handicapping where you guys are going to go. And then I'm going to try to be contrarian and, go the other way. So, for example, in the distaff, if I was playing the distaff, um, I'm not interested in Peter Anna at all. The question is in whether he's going to win or not. I have no interest in him in the win slot. But the question is he going to be second and or third? And that wouldn't be any value either. So, do you want to go all the way with Torpedo Anna in the sense of going against him the first, not going to run at all, or do you think that just try to beat him in the win slot? So that situation is of interest. Um, the other race that's of interest is the 5 furlong race, where one of the horses is going to be probably 4 to 5, 3 to 5 with Ortiz, I think, on him, and he's supposed to be the standout. But if he possibly doesn't get out of the gate, 1 second. If he doesn't get out of the gate, then there's value in that race. So that's piqued my interest. And as a horse player, you have to be wowed by a race. Otherwise, don't even look at it. So I'm not looking at the data in that race. I'm interested in that race because of the fact that it's a race that if something happens, meaning that if the situation is right and the horse doesn't get out, like it happened in the other 5 furlong race, where the favorite got pinched back and wasn't even in the first 4 slots. That's the same situation I'd like to get with that race, that the 5 furlong race today. Basically, actually, the same situation would be fine, and that I would be wowed if I come up with the decision. Yeah, I'm going to take a chance. I think this race is a situation where the favorite is vulnerable, and I could get lucky and get paid. Not that I have to handicap who's going to win because I'm not. If I'm going to beat the favorite, I'm not going to try to find somebody else. Uh, Instead, I want to do something where, because you're not looking at horse racing information, I do what I call a crystal clear clarity board, or I take a leap and risk it all, and just box the race in a dime super with that horse out of it. Um, and unfortunately, though, that even though the pools are really really big, um, unless you can get a long shot in there, you can't make any money. So the only way you can make any money in that race, I think, and the risk factor not to be too high, would be again to go against the 3 to 5 shot in that race. And then the other thing, like I was saying, in the distaff, I don't like Torpedo Anna. So those two situations I'm wowed with. And then in the last race, the Breeders' Cup race, which I think is the most unbelievably phenomenal Breeders' Cup that I've ever seen, in the sense of
how many stories you can come up and how many different directions you can go, and how all of them are reasonable, and how and if 100 stories are reasonable, that means that race is a mess, meaning that the certainty of that race is highly uncertain. So you have to demand value. You have to demand some type of value. You have to go against a horse like fierceness, which is my opinion. My opinion is that not because of what's on the horse racing data and that he has the highest time form, highest buyer, highest whatever, and so he's the horse. I'm fading him, meaning I don't have any interest in fear. I would throw him out. Of any of my thoughts of an investment in him. Uh, and maybe in my next video I'll go how I view the race and why. But in this video I basically want to show you how a person approaches the Breeders' Cup who's been playing for 43 years and basically not using any horse racing information. The only horse racing information that I'm looking at or listening to is the commentary from all of you guys. I want to know where you are, and then I want to go contrarian to that, or I don't want to do anything. And if I'm wowed, then I can continue. If I'm not wowed, I'm not. I shut down and I'm done, and that's okay. And then I retire, and that's fine. But the other thing that I know is that I won't look at any other race besides those three races. So already, instead of having 12 to 15 races to play, and then maybe another track if you wanted to play another track like a lot of people do, which I think is insane. I don't think I think you should just focus on one track and forget about all the other tracks. I mean, how much do you need? I mean, how much food do you have to eat? How much of a fat guy do you got to be? If you're playing the Breeders' Cup, it should just be the Breeders' Cup, in my opinion. I mean, there's already an information explosion, and then you explode and you have no chance. These things I've realized over 43 years. And that's why I've had to do my jockey weight, uh, energizer program dance. Not only for jockeys who are rehabilitating or who are not doing well, it's for handicappers so that you can detach and not play. Uh, and as you saw, I could go an hour straight, and I'm going to do that throughout the day instead of handicapping for 8 hours, 10 to 12 hours. I'll be dancing for 8 to 10 hours. And what's the difference? You're Baba Boo Boo, and I'm still energized. I'm energized to deal with whatever I need to deal with. I don't need to get involved, until like an hour before the 5 furlong race, which I don't know what time it is, because I'm not crazy about having to think that I have to play. If anything, my approach is the ego buster. I know this game is almost impossible to win at. So I'm not eager to go in there and get my ass whooped. I'm going to be selective. I have to be wowed by either a race, a situation, um, and if I'm wowed, then I can think of the possibility of going into my pocket to make an investment instead of going into my pocket again and again and again, and race after race after race, hoping to get lucky. No, have a plan. Only play races that you're wowed at. And if I'm not playing that five, and look at as little horse racing information as possible. That's how you have to start. And then no information except for a gut feeling. I've gotten wild. It's no different than anything else in life. When I bought my house, my last house, when I went there, I was wowed. When I went through the house and the property and everything, I was wowed. I bought the house right away. When I met my wife, I was wowed. When I met my girlfriend, I was wowed. When I took a job as a all my jobs, somewhere along the line, along the line, I was wowed, and because I was wowed, I acted on that and being wowed means that you're committed. I like this. I want this. Passion, drive, and then do it correct. Do it 100% correct. And the way you do it by 100 is by being a black belt in every area. Like, in a little while, I'll have enough of doing this and do something else, having balance. Again, having a relationships with other people, going to work, mixing not being just with the horses because that's out of balance. That would be insanity. That would be compulsive. That would be you are totally addicted and I was there. I know that. And you will be there if you're in the game. Just like any game, anything, any venture that anybody tries, it's the same. A lawyer is going to stay a lawyer, is going to stay a lawyer, is going to stay a lawyer, and never not be a lawyer. A horse player is going to be a horse player, is going to be a horse player. So again, I'll be going throughout the day. I'm going to detach now, and then come back and tell you what I did. Again, and then tell you, go ahead and like right now, I want to dance for a little while again because of the fact that my mojo is on fire because I'm talking about horses, something that I love to do. So I'm passionate. I'm crazy. I'm on fire. That's why when I put my lights on, I put on the red light because of the fact that I'm indicating that the lights on. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock and roll and to dance. The lights are on, and again, energizer program. That's what it's all. Right there's the flag. Get up, get out, energized. So Harvey, as Harvey Pack would say, um, may the horse be with you. My mantra is: you can beat a race, but you can't beat the races. Find the hidden gold many, many layers beyond the obvious. Remember, the ego approach is thinking that thinking that know it all. And the truth of the matter is you know nothing. How could you know? You're not in the barn, you're not the owner, yet you think this horse racing information can give you the answers that they have. It's just the story. The joy of handicapping can become not too joyful. But I did it for 40 years, 43 years, 4 decades, and I'm just trying to share with you guys out there who are horse players, and so that you have insight on the mind of a horse player. Again, may the horse be with you, as Harvey says, and remember, you can beat a race, but you can't beat the races.